Hey, greetings and salutations from Austin, the Apostle, Leader on the Souls, Supreme Authority, etc., 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 with signs and wonders that follows. Okay, approved of by God, called and chosen by God, with signs and wonders, etc. Now today I'm going to talk about the Freemasons just for a few minutes here, probably quite a few minutes. You know, I have. Let me see if I can pull it up. Just for general information, I have about 300 books here on Freemasons. Freemasons Library, Volume 1. And what I do is a lot of times I'll read and get some information about the Freemasons and the history of them. Okay? You see, I have a lot of books of the Freemasons. It's jurisprudence, it's the foundation of the Messianic laws and stuff, right there. And so, when I talk about Freemasons, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I am trying. Let me go ahead and open this one up. I am trying to give a little knowledge, a little revelation, because a lot of times Freemasons will lie. They will lie and pretend like they didn't have the knowledge of certain things, and they will lie about certain facts of their operation. That's how they suck you in. Then they get you to do what they call one of these Masonic oaths. Somewhere along the way, you do some kind of oath, and you're selling your soul to the devil, basically. The Masonic group is a good group for what they are here on the earth. On the earth, on this planet, they're kind of a good group for what they are. But at one time, they were a church. They were a biblical organization. They upheld the teachings of God. As a matter of fact, they used to think heaven was the first Masonic lodge, and God or Jesus, whichever you go, was the headmaster of the 33rd degree of the Freemason situation. And that's how they used to consider heaven and a God. And as a matter of fact, who represents God himself as the first Freemason, in paradise as the first sanctuary of the lodge. We find another author who pretends that the Archangel Michael was Grand Master of the first lodge that was that the children of Seth held after the murder of Abel. Others who maintain Noah was the founder of the Masonry. And yet others who went on, they got all these traditional ideas of biblical foundations. And the most notable thing about the Freemasons at this time was that they served the church. Now, back then it was a Catholic church, but in general, they served the church. They served God. Christian-oriented, Torah-oriented situation going on. And then, of course, the King of England, of course, he sinned against the law of God. And the priests, did their part. So, you got to make penance. King says, no. So he created what they call the supremacy doctrine. So he didn't have to pay for his sins. Okay? And I'm going to try to scan this while I'm doing this. And so, after that time, though, they helped the church. They helped build the churches. They did all this stuff for the churches because of the churches, because of God, because of Torah, and because of Jesus. Even after Constantine came, and Constantine is one who helped cause these things to come about, which is really where the first Messianic ideas came from was through Constantine. And according to my understanding here, and when they started rebelling against the church because they wanted to do their own thing and not observe the laws and not obey the laws of God and not obey this, they started including the Buddhas, the Luciferians, and all these other people into their fold. Okay? And people are like, oh man, you can't do that. We can't do this. And that's what they wanted to do. I'm still scrolling here. And that's what they wanted to do. So they created their own religious belief. It says, the defiance of the Freemasons. And this book was written, believe it or not, about them being defined in 1874. And this is where they started bringing in all the other different people from different nations, the different countries, the different religious thoughts and ideas, beliefs, systems. Give me a second. And the Freemasons became defiant to the things of God. It's even written, look right here. For it is objected to the Freemasonry that by such teachings it puts practically all religions in the world, which admits and acknowledge the one Father of all, the great ruler of the world, on an equality rather than Christian and non-Christian, and that Christians are thus acting professionally and knowingly on certain common grounds of action and interests with Hebrews, Hindus, Parsis, Buddhas, Mohammedans, while all Christian denominations are similar, welcome and recognize this objection then made of old and repeated today, and this is in the 1800s, has to be met and dealt with. And I felt a bond to say that at once, that I do not for one moment suppose that anything I say on this vexation question will remove the scrupulous of some and give satisfaction to the complaints of others. Freemason universal in scope and acting deliberately, and thus reinforcing and avowing its great and expensive system. See, Christians are not supposed to be part of the Freemasons because they're above the Freemasons. And the Freemasons were designed for the Christian church, not for all this other stuff. But they rebelled against God. They rebelled against the laws of God. And they invited all these different organizations into their group. And they started treating the Christians just like they would a sinner. And they're not allowed to do that. Christians are not allowed to subject God like that. They have to be higher than that. And so what happens is, because they have blasphemed the Holy Spirit, the Freemasons, they have blasphemed the Holy Spirit, they've invited the devil in, and they have rebelled against the things of God, God says they deserve to be killed. And just like it says in their own doctrines, in their own history, they deserve to be killed and destroyed because of what they do and what they are and who they teach and what they teach and what they've invited in, because they have destroyed the original design of their purpose. Their purpose was to uphold God and to uphold heaven and to uphold me and to uphold people like me who, with God, has verified with signs and wonders beyond a shadow of a doubt. And what's even worse is the devil verified the new laws of hell. They're supposed to be upholding those since they're going to serve the earth and serve the world. They're supposed to be upholding those too. And they're not upholding anything except their own agendas, which makes them blasphemers and rebellion against the things of God and even the devil, which means they deserve death on both sides of the fence, according to law. And it's not just my law. It's written, let me see if I can find it real quick. It's written in their own books from the 1800s. See? Watch this. But if all illusions may be found, and if any such explanation may fairly be deducted, we can never lose sight of this fact, of one great fact as Freemasons, that the rituals in these centuries, all teachings and all traditions of the craft are common property of our members, whatever religious professions outside the lodge may be. That's not what I said, what I thought I was going to say. I just kind of glanced at it. But they have, maybe this is it. And if they do, they all must at once, on their own principle, put a veto on all proceedings which tend, by the aid of Christians or non-Christians, to administer help or relief to suffering man. And how, for instance, would such a state of things be work in India? See? And so now he's talking about all they have, because non-religious Christians, they don't have that principle. They don't care about like men like that. And that's what they was talking about even in the 1800s. Christians can't be part of the Freemasons. You're a blasphemer. When you joined that group, you became a part of a blasphemous group, a rebellious group, by your own history. Please get out of Freemasons if you're Christians. You already belong to a great organization. You just need to learn to access it. With love from God's apostle. Please get out of Freemasons. Because if you die, you're going to die as a blasphemer. It doesn't matter what the Freemasons say. They're already going to hell in a handbasket. Their own doctrine says it.